Well, hi, friends. I'm glad that you've stuck around, that you're watching this video, and I encourage you to watch it all the way to the end. This is a little bit of information that's going to be vital to you to let you know how we plan to reopen Kennesaw United Methodist Church and kind of the timetable for when that happens. Now, I want to thank you all for filling out the surveys. The surveys have given us very valuable information, and we have a whole array of opinions. There are many of us that want to begin to meet and gather for worship now. There are even more of us that are a little bit hesitant, that want to wait and see, or waiting for certain things to happen, and that's totally understandable. Our task force, our 15 problem solvers that have been meeting a lot. They've been meeting 3 times a week, and they have come up with a phased plan for us to begin to reopen. Now, the first phase, I'm going to tell you about this. It's actually already been happening. Our staff has begun to return to the office. They are practicing social distancing. Anytime that they are meeting together, they are wearing masks, they are doing proper hand washing. And currently, and in this first phase, the outside doors are remaining closed, and we're only letting people in by appointment. So you're welcome to come meet with us. We encourage you to come and do that if you need to. We do ask that you wear a mask when you come to visit, and that you help us to socially distance, keep our staff safe so they can keep working, uh, and and also know that you can come and make an appointment for the prayer room as well. That's opened up, and we want to make sure that we can enable people to come and to pray, to find this quiet sanctuary place, and to make the full use out of that, but to do it safely. Now, the second phase we thought originally was going to be opening worship, but this is where our plans have changed just in the last week. Our task force met and had gone through all these plans. And we've got a few problems with opening up worship right now. Number one is that we don't have our equipment yet. We've ordered sanitizing stations, we've ordered the streaming equipment, and most of these things have been on order for weeks now. And they're back ordered, and we're waiting for them to show up, and we're watching like children watching for Santa Claus. We're waiting for this equipment to show up, but without it here, we really can't open. The other reason that we're not going to open up worship just yet is because we are learning from experts that being outdoors is a lot safer than being indoors. And being indoors, we also are restricted on what we can do in worship. It turns out that singing is just as dangerous in terms of spreading a virus. It's just as dangerous as coughing or sneezing without covering your mouth. So singing together in worship is a challenge, which means that we're better off having worship online. We can continue to sing. We can sing loud enough that the dog or the cat sings along with us, that the neighbors come and knock on our door. We're going to continue to worship online. But the second phase, instead, we're going to find new ways to be together. Like I said, it's safer for us to be outside. So we have mapped out the outdoor part of the campus. One of the great advantages we have is we have a huge front yard, and we have all these other nice shaded areas where groups can meet. So beginning Monday, June 22nd, so if you're watching this on the 21st, it's tomorrow, we're going to begin taking reservations for your small groups, your Sunday school classes, your groups of friends. If you want to get a walking group to come up and to walk around the church, we'd love for you to come and do a prayer walk around the church. You can do that. Now, we're going to ask that you make reservations. We're going to ask that if your group is meeting, bring your own chairs. And don't set up a potluck either. We're not quite to that point of reopening and sharing with one another. But you can gather as a group, you can sit 6 feet apart, you can share a Bible lesson, you can just share how life has been going and enjoy each other's company. I encourage you to do that. Let us reserve a place for you here on the campus so that we can make sure that groups aren't bumping into each other. And we'd love to see you. We'd also love to drop in and check on you guys when you are here. Uh, we aren't going to open the building though. That's one thing to keep in mind. The bathrooms won't be open. So make sure that you have prepared before you arrive. The third phase for us, and we don't have a date for this yet, will be to reopen worship. We're going to begin to reopen worship on a limited basis. That means that we may have restrictions on what we can and can't do in worship. It may mean that we have to wear masks. It may mean, and we really don't know yet, that we'll still have to sit 6 feet apart from each other. Now, at this phase of reopening worship, it will be a gradual process. It will be a slow and deliberate process, and we want to be as safe as possible. We have seen churches in our area already beginning to open for worship, and they've done so with great success. But we've also seen great fears realized when some of our neighbors have opened for worship and have had to promptly close and quarantine because one of the people attending worship was found to have coronavirus. We don't want to put anybody at risk. So we're going to take our time. We're going to do this right. And the best way to take care of everybody. We'll continue to worship online. So if you're not ready to return, you don't have to return. We'd invite you to continue to worship online. We're going to go through that third phase of opening worship. We don't know when it'll happen yet, but we will announce it to you as soon as we know. And then once we have worked through that process and our health experts and the powers that be tell us that it is safe to resume whatever the new normal is, then we'll go back to full worship. We'll reopen the nursery and the children's ministry. We'll begin to do a lot of the things that we used to do that we miss so much. So that's the plan for what's coming. That's what's next. You have given us great input so far, and we value that input. So feel free to call us here at the church. Feel free to email us. I'm going to put Todd Moore's information on the screen. Todd is the head of our task force for reopening, and he can help make sure that your input, your words of wisdom, your prayers get out to the people on the team that need to know those things. And we value that. Keep in touch with us about what's going on. We hope that we get to see you up here soon. We know that some will come back quickly. We know that some won't come back for a while. But know that whichever group you are in our prayers. We miss you dearly, and we can't wait to see you again.